Welcome to Vision Profiles Podcast. Join us, dedicated Apple Vision Pro users, as we dive into everything from hardware and software to apps and the latest updates in the world of Apple Vision Pro. I'm Marty, a faculty member at a Midwest university, a podcaster, and an Apple product fan.
And I'm Eric Bolden. I work around IT, but my interest is in finding interesting ways to share content. Currently, photography of plants, bugs, birds, and panoramic sequences.
And I'm Dave Ginsburg, the host of In Touch with iOS podcast. I am passionate about the technology, especially Apple, and use it in real-world experience as a 27-year IT professional. As iPhone subject matter expert and learn new things about the Vision Pro every day.
Just a reminder for everyone, you can follow the live stream at youtube.com/@visionprofiles on Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, or catch the video later on YouTube or audio on any podcatcher service. There hasn't been a lot of Vision Pro notes. Those are those short little bits, because there hasn't been a lot of earth-shattering news around the Vision Pro. So one of the things that did happen today was we got beta. New beta has come out. This is Vision OS 26.1 Beta 2. And we have some release notes. Nothing earth-shattering. It is about 14 gigabyte download. I did it this afternoon.
Ouch.
And yeah, well, the last one was around 14. But it took what felt like forever. You know, originally it says, "Oh, you'll be done in 5 minutes," and then you'll be done you'll be done in another 6 minutes. Oh, you'll be done.
Never.
And then the whole setup process. I think it took me about 35 minutes to get the whole thing done.
Never believed the 5 minutes.
Yeah. I know that from downloading before, but it just seems so optimistic because they started with 5 minutes. Anyways, the update's mainly a bug fix and polish release for developers testing their apps on Vision Pro. It comes with the newest developer tools, Xcode 26.1. So developers need to rebuild their apps with this version to benefit from the certain fixes. Some of the fixes are a bug was fixed where apps sometimes couldn't find local background files they needed. So apps that use custom background assets like immersive wallpapers or textures should now load reliably. Daniel has always been one to speak about game controllers and the issues with timing in game controllers. Well, a timing bug has been fixed. That is a problem when someone presses the last button, presses the button, was last pressed, has been fixed. Games and other interactive apps that rely on precise button timing should feel more accurate and responsive. And then something I was surprised to hear about, simpler blood pressure permissions. Dave, I think this is probably going to go through to iOS 2 also, that this seems like it's more of an iOS sort of thing, where the app, when called for blood pressure data, would have separate calls for systolic and diastolic, and now they've switched it over so that is called all in one together. So that's kind of new. The bug that sometimes blocked saving blood pressure readings has been fixed, and apps should now save those readings consistently. So not a lot there. I don't know if you guys have anything to comment on it, or that's about it.
Which I haven't installed it yet because I had a busy day. But I'll be doing it after the show. But it doesn't look like anything earth-shattering. Interesting to see the changes in the blood pressure permissions. I mean, that's pretty typical that they're fine-tuning a lot of that stuff. I'm just now downloading the iOS 26 beta 2 as well, and I don't think there's much else. Well, we'll talk about that. I'll get done next week. So.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything. I did the iOS on both of my phones and actually did the Mac OS on my work computer, the one that we're working on right now. So silly me. I ran ahead and put a beta on a work computer, but I haven't seen any problems with it. So we'll see what happens. There's a whole stack of articles last week that kind of got to me. because a couple of days before the show, I start going through the last week's set of articles. And a lot of them were because the story that ran last week was about how Apple had kind of shifted its resources from Vision Pro 2, or supposedly shifted its resources from Vision Pro 2 to the glasses group. That, that's a shift in resources. We're going to see the Vision Pro 2 for a while, supposedly. There's lots of explanations why that could have happened. Apple's a big organization, so they maybe have teams to spare when it comes to that. Or the Vision Pro 2 is done, and they don't need developers on there anymore. But what followed this week was articles, and I wanted to put them in to talk about them, but I didn't want to give these authors any credit in terms of links, because the articles were like, well, the Vision Pro is finally dead. And, we should have seen it coming a long time ago. There's going to be no more Vision Pro. Those were, the kind of titles and clickbait, because I did go and look at some of those, and the authors were just speculating. They used none of the evidence in contrary to talk about how it's being used. But there's been quite a few articles, and we'll talk about them as a group, but I'll also put them in as links. And they come from Phone Arena, PC Magazine, and Wired. So pretty reliable sources talking about their review of how Apple has kind of shifted its resources now to the glasses. Guys, you got anything to say about this?
Go ahead, Eric.
It almost feels like they're mixing up an updated Vision Pro with the Vision Pro 2. So yeah, moving resources over to glasses, that kind of makes sense. Since we don't have an updated Vision Pro yet to look at, maybe the updated Vision Pro performance is really nice. The last Vision Pro lasted for a couple of years. The next one is likely to last for 2 or 3 or more years. Maybe there's no need to develop a lighter version. Maybe an updated strap or some other design made it more wearable just as is. So there's a lot of speculation over stuff we don't know yet. So I think that they're writing an article to write an article, and it isn't really helpful.
Yeah, it's just disheartening to see a lot of this stuff. Gerben was quiet this past week, so he didn't. The Germaniacs were tame this week, so there wasn't much talk about the Vision Pro. But yeah, we've been hearing, just like we hear Apple's doomed every other day too. So the Vision Pro is doomed. It's going to be active. It's a medium that's going to just continue to grow, and just Apple takes its time, and I think that's what makes us Apple fans, because the products that they provide us, they take the time to make sure that there's something that is good quality. Yeah, do they have faults? No question, but the iPhone is at its peak now. It's going to continue to peak further, and who knows what will happen with that. But Vision Pro is going to continue to evolve too.
Yeah, every article is talking about how Vision Pro 2 is put on the back burner, but no, at the same time, they're acknowledging that there's going to be an upgrade in Vision Pro with an M5 and another processor and a second level processor for graphics and such. And so I don't quite get it. I think, Eric, you're right. Maybe they're confusing, or they're using that story to be able to combine both of the products that are there, and the fact that they want to work on a glasses, and maybe they've, like I said, they finished the design for the upgrade, and now that team is going to assist the glasses folks doesn't surprise me. But there's a pretty strong prediction that we're going to see the upgraded Vision Pro coming out. I kind of hope it happens before Christmas. We're all holding out for an October surprise on a lot of devices, and I just don't know, but it would be nice. I will probably go ahead and pick that one up just to see. what's going on. There's been a bunch of leaks over the week in terms of headband stuff and other kinds of device release information about that device coming. So it's interesting. Let's go to another article, and we're kind of moving things through quickly here, which is okay. We don't have to have a long show. But Elevated. Have either of you guys done Elevated?
It was really well done.
And Tim Robbins was the narrator. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and again, it was filmed differently, and different style, kind of a different look to it, but a view of Maine from the air. So lots of overhead footage, and overhead footage above waterways. You got a chance to see fall colors. They were able to tout their tree-covered landscape, and I think, what did they say, 52 species of leaf covered trees where the leaves do change color, and different types of colors, reds and browns for oaks and so on, and some following along some railways, crossing some bridges, looking at some trail footage. Really, I was tired by the time I got to the end of it. Felt like I'd walked for hours. But it was a really nice view, enough that, and they discussed the really, really long coastline, longer than California. So it was kind of made me almost want to visit, which I think is what they intended.
But it's only 6 minutes and you were exhausted.
More than that, and I would have to take it in smaller doses.
Now,
it was good.
I've got to ask you this, as being from northern Wisconsin or near mid-Wisconsin. Are the colors already changed at this point in Maine? And if that's the case, when do you think they shot this and turned it around?
Oh, that's a good question. I have no idea if they've changed in Maine yet or not. I know that where I am, there's enough of a drought, trees are just dropping leaves. But next week, I'm going to drive north and hopefully see leaves changing color. So I'll let you know.
Yeah, I lived in the South for too many years, and it's all pine trees, and those don't change colors at all. The only thing that happens when fall arrives is the temperature drops to 60, and everybody screams about how cold it is. So yeah, I'm back where the colors are, and I haven't seen it completely here in Northeast Ohio. But we'll see. I'm just surprised, because if the colors were such an important part of this video, when did they shoot it if they're not there yet? Who knows? A couple of articles on Elevated, one from Mac Observer and one from 9 to 5 Mac. And then this is another article I want to kind of turn to Eric to, because you're our cinematographer professional as far as I'm concerned. Apple invites Vision Pro filmmakers to a free immersive video workshops in Cupertino and online. So Apple is trying to upscale teaching cinematographers how to use immersive video. Across 2 teaching days, Apple covers how to frame ideas for the Apple immersive video, how to design spatial interaction that brings audiences into the experience, and how to build shared moments in Vision OS with SharePlay and spatial personas. Pretty cool. The online sessions are October 21st through the 23rd, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and you can register. Registration closes October 20th at 5 p.m. You can request, the request deadline to attend in person is October 17th. If you want to go out to Cupertino, thoughts?
It's a really good idea.
Cool.
And it's a much easier way to try and get more people out there producing content that everyone keeps asking for, but no one's really trained in. So I can't help but think that you wouldn't be seeing these classes if there weren't a lot of questions coming from people on how to film this. And the the interest in Vision Pro itself still continues, because no matter who you're shooting the immersive film for, everyone seems to pretty much agree that looking at it on a Vision Pro is kind of what you want to pick to evaluate whether it's working or not, and the quality and how it looks and how it makes you feel. So yeah, having more classes, and now that the nice the Ursa Sign immersive cameras are out, not everyone can afford to just buy one to dabble with. So being able to kind of see what's involved, so that once those cameras are available for renting, you'll be a little bit more prepared. I'm starting to also see more discussions showing up in Reddit and on YouTube about shooting video on iPhones, and is upgrading from the iPhone 16 to the 17 worth it? Does it make a difference? And how does it make a difference? And what were the changes? So there's definitely a lot of interest out there. So I'm happy to see this.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe I should sign up.
This is not something they're going to do at an Apple retail store behind the Genius Bar. This is something that they've got to do in the format that they're suggesting. We're going to do some stuff on campus, but we're also going to do live training as you would with WWDC. You'd have those opportunities available for people who want to sign up with it. I think it's pretty cool. And again, amazing they're doing it for a product that's dead.
That's right.
Just this product is so dead, and they won't let it go. They won't let go of it. They just keep providing resources and training on it. Yeah, tell me about it. I found this article on about spatial fields for Apple Vision Pro. This was released in May, but they've done a bunch of updates with it. Experiences are still the best way to relive your own captures with spherical harmonics. You can drop PLY or SPZ files in from the iCloud drive or an NAS, and the app renders them with spherical harmonics intact. I'm going to try and give a little shot of the video here and see if they can show us a little more on this. Eric, do you have any commentary? Yeah. Or Dave?
It looks pretty cool. Is this something I didn't get through it all the way here? Is this something that they're creating? Are we able to view these things?
It looks as if there are objects that you could put in, including objects, maybe pictures that you have shot that then get rendered like a 3D object, from what I can tell.
Like that dirty car they're showing.
Yeah. So, Eric, thoughts?
Yeah, I haven't really played with this a whole lot, but there are a lot more apps out there that let you scan objects or rooms or whatever around you, and there still is that whole problem of how do you view it and share it. This sounds like that's a good solution for that.
Yeah, I forgot that there was a app that you could download various 3D objects. In space, we would use them to download various 3D objects. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of fun because you could then place them around your house or place them around the room that you're in. They also, I think, had a capability of you submitting pictures, because I submitted a picture of my dog, and they were able to kind of give a version of my dog in that 3D rendering. And that seems like what we've got going on here in terms of...
Yeah, the really neat thing here is that there's a Mac app. So the Vision Pro kind of is pushing the limits of its chipset, but you can have the Mac app render something for the Vision Pro and then stream it to the Vision Pro to see it. So that's pretty cool. It's kind of like giving yourself an extra hardware upgrade just by adding a companion Mac.
Next article, I thought actually was pretty cool. There were a series of articles around this, and this was about brain computing. I did a pro note on this. this startup, this comes out of Wired, this startup wants to put its brain computing interface in the Apple Vision Pro. Cognition, which I think is, it's a spelling change, but a pronunciation the same. California-based Cognition is launching a clinical trial to allow paralyzed patients with speech disorders the ability to communicate without an invasive brain implant. And there was a technology that was done a while ago that we talked about, and I have lost the name. It's maybe somewhere in the article, where they were actually doing implants and using that. But this is an opportunity for people to sort of wear a neural net in using EKG, some of it buried within the band of the headband of the Vision Pro, and recording EKG or EEG waves, and then using those waves to be able to communicate intent with action in the Vision Pro headset, including formulating language in response, and then using AI to use previous conversations that the user has had when they weren't diminished because of whatever disorder they had, to construct responses within the style and manner that they would have if they had full use of voice or communication abilities. Pretty science fiction.
That's really cool.
They talked about 10. They're getting like 10 people to do a trial with this over about a month. Just cool stuff. Again, the way and you have Apple, which has all this accessibility stuff going for it as a company. It has all this health stuff going for it as a company. And then you have Vision Pro, and it's maximizing on all of that experience in health and also accessibility that the other products can't do that. Meta ain't going to do that. Meta glasses ain't going to do that. This is all because Apple has built this infrastructure around health and accessibility. Dave, thoughts?
Yeah, it's really cool. Not much else I can say other than that this is a really cool technology. I don't have much else I can add here.
Well, I think it's again, this is a dead product we're talking about. So they'll shelve this sometime soon, I'm sure. There's some interesting patents or some description that you can see where the band or the headband around has various types of sensors in them. Having had a TIA in my life and spent some time in the hospital, it was nothing too damaging, but being hooked up to a EEG for a good part of the time, this is freaky deaky, but I think it's really cool. All right.
Well, it's helpful too for someone who knows that they're going to have a future issue or recently had an injury and issue, that there are some options, and the more options that can be made available, the better.
So me, I like going hunting for patents. And I tried, and patently Apple was not working as a site anymore. What apparently happened because TypePad had shut down. We know about that.
All right.
Patently, Apple sent all of their, or X.com or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, basically became the repository for patents for Apple and for Patently Apple. So I had mixed feelings that I would have to go to X to get anything, let alone that's the only place you can find out about patents. But I found some cool ones. I wear contact lenses, and I wear it when I wear the Vision Pro. I have glass inserts if I don't have my contacts in. But This apparently is a patent for precision eye tracking that covers contact lens shift detection. So, if you wear contacts, occasionally they kind of drop down on the eye a little bit. And apparently the Apple has a patent for addressing that shift. So it's corrective. And, they have some nice information here about how that's going to work in terms of sensors with it. So that was one patent. And I don't know, Dave or Eric, do you use inserts, Eric? Or Dave, do you use inserts?
No, I don't. These are just readers that I use.
Oh, okay. So you don't need them outside.
So yeah, when I put the Vision Pro on them, I'm able to see it fine.
Yeah,
because it's more it's magnified, and that's all I need is magnification. So
yeah, and I definitely use the drop-in.
Yeah, I have the drop-in set for when I don't have my contacts in, like late at night when I take contacts out. My contacts are for middle and distant vision. So it works pretty well for me within that focal range for me with the Vision Pro. And the glasses like Dave I put on when I'm on computer and when I'm up close and they're cheaters. Right. So this is interesting for those folks that wear contacts. Then the next patent that they have, I tell you, I never had such a good time on X in my life. Finding these. They published a patent that was beyond Vision Pro EyeSight. Apple's new patent enhances avatar eye realism. So the idea is that the patent will make our eyes in our avatar eye much more realistic looking. So just an interesting bit of new piece. There is a EyeSight, an outward-facing display for others to see your eyes that's improved. And also there's an iris detection patent, or an inward-facing system for rendering your eyes. That's also improved for virtual avatars. So some really freaky, I got to switch back to this, some really freaky diagrams here. Lots of eyes looking at you with lots of things indicating movement. And then flow charts. Oh, all right, enough of that. We talked a little bit about this in the past. In fact, they're using the same graphic that they used, but this is a little different. In the previous description of a patent, it was a situation where they had an automatically adjustable lens, and that will happen through tracking where your eyes are focusing on. This is a different patent. Apple's smart lenses technology for future smart glasses will track its own surface in real time. So it adjusts lens surfaces, curvatures can be modified, dynamic focus adjustments on user gaze or content depth. This seems to be sort of the other part of the focal adjustment that can go on with it. And instead of actually mechanical change in the surface or the lens, well, it's still doing a mechanical change, but it's based on adjustments that are made depending on where your focus is. It's a turntable lens system versus Meta's fixed lens approach.
That's a neat way of doing it. Certainly much easier to share a set of glasses.
That would be one way to
as
do
well
that
as
different.
Yeah, as well as being able to order a set of glasses, and then as your vision changes, not having to go back and rebuy parts. That would be nice.
So the last one really isn't about Apple, but it's related, and it is new patent surface that relate to possible future smart glasses from Microsoft and Google. So it looks like Microsoft and Google want to jump into the smart glass. Well, Google has already been, in my opinion, into the smart glass field. But again, it's sort of the patents themselves looked interesting. The key innovation is more efficient light routing, compensation for mechanical imperfections, and support for different lens thickness and applications using the same base design. So yeah. So Google's filing patents, and they seem to be focused around a hinge and such. So that's, I guess that's the last part of our trip around patents. So we can all take a deep breath.
That's bizarre. You're going to have to use X to be able to read all those articles now.
I know. I feel like I'm cheating on a diet. All right. So Samsung Galaxy is back in the news, and the article about their headset rivaling Apple's Vision Pro at $2,000. Now, this is Virtual Reality Web Pro News is the person, and is the provider of this article. I don't quite get why they have a picture of headphones and they're talking about a headset. And then the sub title of it is Samsung XR Galaxy headset launch rivaling Apple Pro at $2,000. The pre-registration window might run through October 21st. Apparently, they could commence as early as October 15th. Is this the one where you have to go to stores? Recent reports from South Korea suggest the company's gearing up for a pre-registration period that could commence in early October 15th, setting the stage for formal launch, and then that going for a whole week. And is this the one where you have to basically go to the store to get set up with it? I think that's what we reported in a previous article.
They still look a little different. Kind of looks like you're wearing headphones on your eyeballs.
Is that what this is? Is this actually headphones on your eyeballs?
Kind of looks like it, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah, or it's headphones.
But I'm guessing. Well, I'm guessing the two holes on there are cameras, right? And the wires that go in are to run the LED display in there. But it still, to me, just looks like two headphones that you stick on your eyeballs.
Well,
they should at least add some bling to the top so it looked like a tiara or something.
Dave, do you think that's a headphones, or is that really a headset?
It's more like a headset. I mean, if you bring it up again, I didn't look at it, but it looked like it was. It looks like a pair of headphones I had just had here that I use for work sometimes. Yeah, but it just looks like it just goes right over your ear.
Huh.
Is really what it is. I mean. But they're saying this is virtual reality. So I mean, I can't see how it's going to. How does it fit over your eyes? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, but it's not shaped right to go. It's not shaped to go over your ears, though, because if you look at it, it looks like the band goes around your head, and the other part snaps on your eyeballs because it's twisted and flat.
Somebody made a bad decision, in a bad graphic decision with this. So, anyways, the Samsung's article is there for you to. It promises features like a 1.3-inch display with 90 frames per second, high resolution, 3,552 by 3,840.
I'm not sure where you put the battery.
Yeah, I just think somebody screwed up with the graphic, personally.
No, I think that's it. It just looks strange because there are little holes in the bottom that would be there if you had to have cameras to be able to see like hand motion. We'll see, I guess.
Yeah, I'm going to be Googling the hell out of that thing to see if there are any other demos or mock-ups. I just think that is a bad.
I think they should. Yeah.
I think they need to fire their editor on that one. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 articles that I managed to accumulate on Vision Pro leaks, the new Vision Pro. And what we're talking about is the upgraded version of the current Vision Pro. And an M2 chip, an M5 chip instead of an M2, will likely come in a new color and a new comfortable band. This is coming out of Redmond Pi, but we have articles to the similar for Apple Insider, Tom's Guide, 9 to 5 Mac, and Mac Observer, and more from 9 to 5 Mac. But the thing here is the dual knit band, which, come on, folks, it's the solo loop with the Belkin band on top of it.
Hey,
come to think of it,
like my baby right here. I mean, that's
come to think of it. If you look at the graphic, seriously, if you look at this graphic from Redmond Pie,
It looks like
says-
that's what it is.
it says Belkin on it.
Oh my!
So this is
They're not even trying.
To
a
come
mock-up
with-
of what it is. It's not
using
any-
current
of
products.
course. Yeah, of course, it's not a complete product, but this is what it's going to look like, or what they think it's going to look like. And then,
Well, I kind of hope it has 2 dials, so that headband dial. I kind of hope the strap over the top has a little dial, because I'd love to just kind of grind my head back and forth with little dials, zip, 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 zip. Yeah.
that's not a
I just
bad
like the
idea.
audio.
That's not a bad idea to have 2 dials, one for the one on top, because that pulling, if you have a Belkin band, that pulling and closing, just like your watch strap, if you have one of those,
Yep.
you're constantly doing that through the day as things adjust. It would be nice to see that arrangement. We have no idea what this second dual band is going to look like. And the usual complaints from the usual suspects about it weighs too much, it costs too much. Here's Tom's guide. Look at it.
They're so biased.
Yeah, they are. And they spend a great deal of copy writing about their own biases. They're talking about everything. They're talking about M5 iPad Pro. They're talking about M5 MacBook. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't see them upgrading the Pro model to an M5 at this time, but that's for another show and another time. And then some leak code, a 9 to 5 Mac Vision Pro strap called Dual Knit Band, which actually sounds like a really cool bar band. We're the Dual Knit Band.
Dual knit. Where are they seeing the code? It's Gurman.
Oh yeah, it's Garumers for the Germaniacs.
But I'm saying it says code. What makes code in a band? That's what I like to know.
Well, that's right.
Is it code saying what the product number is?
As spotted by Mac Rumors, code references discovered by Apple's back-end point to a new dual knit band.
Oh, somebody saw a part number maybe? Or maybe there was an icon for it.
FCC, that's where they learned about it.
Yeah, that's right.
Just remember, when we put in this application, this is all secret. Don't tell anyone.
Ancient Chinese secret.
Yeah. It's not a Chinese secret anymore. They have the information.
No.
But confidential schematics of the iPhone 16e, shared model numbers, the iPad Pro, but they also talk about information regarding the M2 processor could be upgraded to M5. So our greatest threat to national security, and somebody wrote, they should just let the disaster die. Yeah, okay. So our greatest threat to national security is the FCC. And let's see. Yeah, and here's more, which I think this article came out last week about the FCC filings reveal a new Vision Pro model. Apparently they dropped a bunch of PDFs that had all of this stuff in it. So we don't need Mark Gurman anymore. We just can go directly and get our leaks from the FCC.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And then another did FCC just confirm new MacBook Pro and iPad Pro models, and then an update in this talks about the Vision Pro also being under the model number A3416 and described as a head-mounted device. Documents show connectivity and other frequency transmission reports, including SAR and WLAN, as well as illustrations of the front of the device, which is the same design as the current Apple Vision Pro. So, yeah. That's about all I've got for articles this week.
It's been a pretty quiet week.
Yeah, it has. I want to talk about a couple of apps, and I don't know if either of you had an opportunity to try these.
Not yet.
Yeah. The first one is Soothing Boyds, and it is free. It is very cool. So let me see if I can expand the the video. Oh, let me play it again. Where you pick these objects and they come at you. I don't know, they're little rectangles, and you can move your hand out and sweep them away. And it's really, as it says, soothing in a lot of ways. And it's free, and I think it's a cool interface combining both the movement of the objects in your hands. And I just had a cool time with it. And like, there's once occasionally a single little rectangle will come at you and you can tap it and it turns around. And then you fly into other groups of rectangle or other groups of, I guess, rectangles or columns. And it'd change direction with that or be absorbed by that move in whatever direction they were moving. Just really cool. Kind of a cool little app. And then this last one, Orbital Gallery. Let me open this up. And you basically load photos of your choice, and that's what this menu is showing. You can load as many photos as you want. You can put them around you in the room. You can pinch them and resize them. And then they circulate around your space, whatever space you have designated them to be. So for photo artists, or if maybe you want to show some of your photos off, interestingly for me, what was top of my list was a bunch of photos my son sent me for his name the date or remember the date, not name the date, remember the date for his wedding. And it was pictures of him and his fiance that were shot out in the woods, and I had a whole stack of them. So I put them in, and they would move around the room and, and circulate around. It's kind of nice. It's a nice little piece. I think the cost of it is $2.99, so it's not going to break the bank, but it's a nice way. I would imagine if you wanted to demonstrate some of your photos to a friend, you could also share them that way. So that's all we have. Is there anything else you folks have that you want to add or things that you're finding out with your Vision Pro? No.
I'm not totally ready to discuss it yet, but there's a bunch of online discussions of the iPhone 16 and 17 and Canon's stereo vision lens system, and then the Ursa Sign really expensive camera, and doing comparisons, trying to discuss, well, is it worth upgrading the camera from the 16 to the 17 just for immersive video, and what you get, and does it work better, or do you need to buy a different camera? And I'm only partway through that sequence, so up in upcoming discussion. But it was kind of interesting. It looks like the 17 with the better sensors is worth it, but they put two lenses in front of the sensor, so it still is a little bit different, but it's better than what you had before on the 16. And it sounds like there's software that you can buy that gives you higher resolution video, but again, because they're two different lenses, there's some downsides, and like a little black bar on one of the cameras because of the lens difference. So it really is not worth all of the extra effort to get slightly higher resolution. So that kind of thing. It's people are interested enough in this that they're trying some really wonky things to boost quality or test for different quality. And the Ursa Sign cameras is expensive enough and not available yet enough that people are looking at, well, how do I shoot video without that? And how do I make it work better? And one of the things that they did say that I think would be helpful to anyone trying to do immersive video now is when you hold up the camera doing an immersive video, it'll put a message up saying you're too close to your object, back further away. And this video series I'm watching right now said that it's because when you back up the distance that they're telling you to back up, that the apparent resolution between the two lenses evens out. And so the quality of the resulting video approaches the same quality you would get with like a dedicated camera, like the Canon R7 with the dual lens. Whereas if you're a little bit closer, the resolutions don't match on the two lenses, and it makes some people slightly queasy when they're rewatching it later. And
So-
I hadn't heard that from anyone before. So
I think the Ursa Sin is what, $3,500 or $35,000.
yes, yeah.
$3,500. There'd be one in my background right now, but 35,000. What is the Canon?
The getting an iPhone 17 Pro and a Canon with the lens is about the same price.
Oh, really? Okay.
So around $2,000.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the same price as 35,000. So you could get
No.
For,
So like if you could go out and buy the Canon, or you could go out and buy an iPhone 17 Pro Max. Either one, about the same amount of money you're putting in. So to some extent, it depends on what you're shooting, whether it's worth it, or just you get a full phone.
Yeah.
So for some of the stuff, it evidently seems worth it to just go to the 17. And yeah, if you weren't, or you're going to do a lot more video, maybe the R7. But if you follow the instructions on the camera or on the iPhone 17, as far as what distance to shoot at, you get some pretty good results. It constrains things a little bit. You can't get as close to an item and still have everything work, but you can still get good video.
Yeah. So are you following this on Reddit? Are you following it on Discord?
It's they're YouTube videos, but I have an alert for those videos in YouTube, but I'm usually hitting them as a reference to something on Reddit, where somebody's asking a question and this is coming back as a response, and then they're linking to the video.
So Dave, any other things about your arrangement or setup? You've got a new office, but with Vision Pro, anything you're playing with?
No, I've got space here. If you can see it, I got the Vision Pro sitting right here. So easy accessible here. So my space, as you're seeing here, is much more wide open. I already got my monitors back there set up. So my other office back there. It's as far as Vision Pro goes, no, I haven't really. I had a bit busy weekend, so I think I haven't even upgraded yet. So it's I'm going to do that as soon as we wrap up here. Today. So
there was go ahead. No. There was another app that I was going to talk about, Amplium. I think it's called Amplium, and I saw some of the video come up, or some of the promotion for it come up through Reddit. And so I went ahead and I downloaded it, and that was okay. But then it's basically free videos, and they have 3 of them. Asian girl band, then an Asian girl band live, and then this video that they are promoting about a woman with silk out in the water, and it took forever it was like 3 gigabyte and 3 minutes of video. And I thought it took forever to load for me. I got it on there, and then I watched it, and after 3 minutes, I'm like, meh. The only good thing about the app, I'm sure there are people who like that as a platform, but for me was immediately when the video was ended, it said, "Do you want to delete this video?" Yeah, I need the 3 plus gigabyte space on it. I wasn't gonna talk about it tonight, just because of that. But I was playing with that a little bit this afternoon. So I think that kind of wraps us up for a show. I'm going to start with Dave and ask him, where can we find you?
You can find me at, I can look zoomed here. You can find me at In Touch with iOS at intouchwithios.com. YouTube channel is youtube.com/intouchwithios. I'm here on Monday nights, Vision Profiles, and Tuesday nights I'm on Mac Voices Live with the gang here. We record our show on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on the YouTube channel. I'm on the Mac Show on the British Tech Network on Fridays, usually. And you can find me on Blue Sky and Mastodon, mostly where I hang out on social media, and that's at DaveG65.
And Eric.
I clean my desk. I have no idea where I am, where people can find me now. But I'm around Mondays doing Vision OS stuff, Tuesdays with Mac OS stuff on Mac Voices, Thursdays on In Touch with iOS, covering iOS, iPad OS, Vision OS. Really, it's a roundup of the week. Otherwise, on Mastodon at EA Bolden at mas.to.
And for myself, you can find the projects I'm involved in, including many of them with these two guys, with Mac Voices on Tuesday and In Touch with iOS with Dave on Thursday, and with Eric on both of those shows. And but you can check the podtalk.net because I have some projects that are starting up that are new podcasts that you might be interested in. The podtalk.net is the website. My email is thepodtalknetwork@gmail.com. You can catch me, Jencius, Jencius, at mastodon.social and also at Blue Sky, and I check both of those pretty regularly. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in. So send us an email at thepodtalknetwork@gmail.com. Our bumper music is Free Jazzy by Steve Combs, courtesy of the Free Music Archive. Learn about the Vision Profile podcast and other podcasts, as I mentioned, at thepodtalk.net. Spread the word to other visionaries. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.